Hi, I'm Donna Hughes, and I'm the president and CEO of Enough is Enough. I hope that you have been following the whistleblower's testimony in the Senate hearings today. And also, perhaps you caught this amazingly brave woman on 60 Minutes this past Sunday night. As an internet safety expert who's been working to make the internet safer for children and families since 1994, when social media came into being, actually, MySpace was one of the first social media companies, shortly followed by Facebook. These social media apps were designed for college kids and older. In other words, at this time, back in the early 2000s, one had to be 18 years old or older to even use these platforms. So, what happened since then is that the social media platforms, in particular Mark Zuckerberg, they actually took their platform and lowered the age of acceptable use to 13 years old. So you may say, well, why did they stop at 13? Well, they stopped at 13 because of the privacy laws. We call this particular law COPPA, which is the Children's Online Protection Privacy Act. And this law actually that went into effect many years ago does not allow advertisers to advertise to kids under the age of 13. So that's why they stopped at 13. So let me just describe what this looks like. And now we know from the whistleblowers' evidence that Facebook and Instagram were never designed to be safe for kids, ever, not even teen kids. They designed a motorcycle. Think of it that way. They designed a motorcycle for college kids and older. Then they tried to take that motorcycle and turn it into a bicycle. Well, we know that you can't do it, but that's what they did. And then with their most recent announcement, they said that they were going to develop an Instagram for kids that is under the age of 13 years old, 8 to 12. Because why? Because they already know that kids under 13 are lying about their age and using Instagram and Facebook. Well, why are kids doing this? Because they can. There is no age verification technology in place on Facebook, on Instagram, or on any of these other social media platforms. These technologies exist, but they are not being implemented. So Facebook and Instagram says, okay, well, we're going to now try to take this motorcycle that we turned into a bicycle. Now we're going to turn it into a tricycle. And we, the American public, and everyone else in the world is supposed to believe that this is going to be safe. Well, here's the point. It's not even safe for the 13 to 17-year-olds. And all of this evidence, Facebook's own research demonstrates this. Now, I'm not going to cover all of that, but basically some of the key points, at least from my standpoint as an internet safety expert, is that they knew and they know that Instagram in particular is toxic for teen girls. And because of the fact that there are pictures and body image and all of this kind of stuff, which is what Instagram is known for. Let me just say this. We all know this, at least no, I can't say that, but us women realize that when girls are in that puberty, that pre-puberty range, tweens and preteens, that they're particularly vulnerable to bullying, to curiosity, to peer pressure, to popularity, to all these kinds of things. And so that is a particularly vulnerable age group. Now, what are some of the other points that I believe are important for parents and lawmakers to understand? Well, there's some recent data that showed that kids, let me get this right, 43% of 8 to 13-year-old young people are speaking to strangers. Well, predators prey. So kids are not only susceptible to bullying and body shaming and depression, and their mental health is at risk, they're also vulnerable to sexual predators, to pedophiles, to traffickers, and to pornographers. So there are a lot of issues that parents really do need to pause and take note of. And I do agree that it is time for all of these social media platforms to have some type of congressional oversight. They came into being in the early 2000s, as I said. It has been shown over and over again that they refuse to voluntarily self-regulate. Normally, when we see any kind of positive action on the part of any of these platforms, it's because groups, caring groups, internet safety groups, activists, and others like us, like others, many of our colleagues, are putting public pressure on these companies to do the right thing. And then occasionally we see some movement, and we've been moving in the right direction, but we've got a really long way to go. So, what do parents need to understand? First of all, that your child currently can lie about their age and sign on to any one of these social media platforms. If they're under the age of 13, they can just give a false birth date and they can get a profile. Now, also, of course, your 13 to 18-year-olds can get a profile as well. So let's just say you've got a 16-year-old daughter who has a profile on Instagram or Facebook, and you find pictures that she's posted of herself or that maybe a friend has posted that are risky, are putting her at risk, or may invade her privacy in some way, and you as a parent want to take it down. Well, guess what? You can't. No, you cannot. You can report it, but you can't take it down because you're not the profile holder. You have to get your child to take it down. There also aren't any obvious parental control tools available on these platforms. So if you want to, for instance, allow your 15-year-old daughter to have one of these accounts, the only way you can really manage her privacy and her safety is for you, the parent, to set up that account yourself, which is what I highly recommend that you do. But let me just say this, and the data from and the research that was presented today in the Senate hearings show that even for the 13 to 16 to 18-year-olds, these types of sites, in particular Instagram, are really not safe, in particular for young girls. So I caution parents to think about that, whether you even let your kids get on these sites. Now, what would I like to see happen? First of all, I would like to see Facebook and Instagram just abandon any plans to set up an Instagram for kids. They have currently postponed those plans, but as soon as the pressure's off and the heat's off, they'll probably pick it right back up again. They tried many years ago to do a Facebook for kids under 13. We pushed back hard, so did the attorneys general, the state attorneys general across the country, and they pulled back. So now they pulled back temporarily. So no Instagram under the age of 13, just drop that idea forever. Secondly, put age verification technologies in place to keep the under 13-year-olds off of Instagram and Facebook, and that goes for all the other social media platforms. Put those in place. Make parental control tools available so that parents can use them. Help parents understand what the dangers are, what the risks are, and then empower those parents to be able to protect their kids. I mean, that is the corporately responsible thing to do. And in the future, if there's ever any thought of a social media company thinking about building a safe platform for kids, for young people, build it, or for teenagers, build it with safety in mind. Don't try to take that motorcycle and turn it into a bicycle and then turn it into a tricycle. It's a disaster. It doesn't work. So we have an Instagram petition at enough.org. I hope that you will go and sign it. This is going to Facebook leaders, including to Mark Zuckerberg, and we're asking them to abandon these ideas and to do the right thing. Please join us at enough.org. Thank you so much.